Hey friends, Pastor Bill Walden here with Build Up the Church. God bless you. This is a devotional word for March the 16th, 2024. I have a question for you. Why do you believe in what you believe? Some people say they have no belief or no faith, but if you really stop and think about it, we all do. We all believe in something. Even if it's nothing, it's a system of belief that there's nothing. So it's a faith that there's nothing. Thinking that there's nothing isn't provable. I'm talking about the afterlife, of course. Thinking that there's nothing isn't provable. So it's faith that after we die, there's nothing. So some of us have faith that after we die, everybody goes to heaven. Some have faith that after we die, we can talk to our relatives, or some of us perhaps believe that our relatives are talking to us, or, you know, even pets or other forms of communication. Vibrations, thoughts, whatever the case may be. We all have some kind of faith or view or worldview. Maybe I should say some kind of heaven view or afterlife view about what happens after we die. Even some believe in reincarnation, hoping for nirvana, hoping to live a better life. But we all have a faith system. Even if your faith is that nothing exists, you still can't prove it, so it's faith. So I believe in Jesus. I'm a Christian. I'm a pastor. And I believe that Jesus was raised from the dead. And let me read that account to you, one of the short accounts about Jesus' resurrection. It says, when the Sabbath was passed, Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James, and Salome brought spices that they might come and anoint him. So Jesus was buried hastily. Usually the body would be heavily anointed to kind of cover up the smell of decomposition and just to honor the deceased loved one. And very early in the morning, on the first day of the week, they came to the tomb when the sun had risen. So now we're talking about Easter Sunday. And they said among themselves, who will roll away the stone from the door of the tomb for us? So the Bible records that Jesus was buried in a carved out sepulcher, a tomb, and that it was covered with a stone, presumably kind of a large disc kind of thing that was rolled into place. But when they looked up, they saw that the stone had been rolled away. It was very large. And entering the tomb, they saw a young man clothed in a long white robe sitting on the right side, and they were alarmed. So they went looking for the body of Jesus. They didn't even know how they were going to get into the tomb. When they got there, they saw that the tomb was open, and they went inside expecting to see the deceased body of Jesus. Instead, his body was not there, and there was, as the other Gospels tell us, an angel there to make an announcement to them. But he said, the angel said to them, don't be alarmed. Apparently they were alarmed. I would be too. You don't see an angel every day. You seek Jesus of Nazareth, who was crucified. He is risen. Not resuscitated, but he's been resurrected, and there's a big difference. If I die and an EMT puts paddles on my chest and gets my heart going, I've been resuscitated. But resurrection is a whole different form of life. After this mortality has died, those who believe in Jesus, the Bible says, will receive a body fit for heaven. Kind of like when an astronaut goes to outer space, you can't go in your Levi's and t-shirt. You need a special suiting for that. You need a special clothing for that. Heaven's the same way. We can't go as we are. We need a new, improved you and me in order to be in the presence of God. So Jesus was resurrected. He says, you seek Jesus of Nazareth, who was crucified. He's risen. He's not here. See the place where they laid him? But go, tell his disciples and Peter that he's going to go before you into Galilee. There you will see him, as he said to you. So Jesus announced that he would be resurrected from the dead and that he would meet with his followers later. I love verse 8. I love the candor and the honesty of the Bible. So they went out quickly and fled from the tomb, for they trembled and were amazed. I mean, they weren't going out valiantly, marching and beating a bass drum and clanging cymbals and all this confidence. It freaked them out. They didn't know what to think, and they said nothing to anyone, for they were afraid. Understandably so. They didn't expect this. Jesus' followers didn't believe that he would be raised from the dead. I mean, it's kind of hard to think about that. They saw him nailed to the cross. They saw the Roman soldier pierce the side of Jesus with a spear. When Pilate was informed that Jesus had died, he was surprised, and he told those who watched over the prisoners who were crucified, go and double check. And they said, no, he's dead. So some people believe what they call the swoon theory, that Jesus just kind of passed out and he was brought back to life mysteriously or something like that. But the Romans were experts at killing people. And they said, no, he's definitely dead. So the friends of Jesus, these ladies, these faithful women that followed Jesus and supported him, they didn't think he was alive still. And they went, and there was the tomb open, and there was an angel, and he was raised from the dead. And later on, his followers saw him. The Apostle Paul in the book of 1 Corinthians in chapter 15 says that Jesus was seen resurrected by over 500 of his followers, most of whom, Paul said, at the time of the writing were still alive. They could all be interviewed. They could all be threatened. They could all be imprisoned. They could all be martyred if they didn't agree with what the religious leaders wanted from them, or if they didn't agree with what Rome was telling them to do. And many, many Christians in the first century went to their death, not believing in something they hoped for, but in something that they saw. Now, I don't want to belittle anyone who believes that they are in communication with lost loved ones or anything like that. I'm not here to do that. What I am here to do, and I hope I can do it lovingly, but I want to challenge you. Why is it that you believe what you believe? Why is it that you believe you're in communication with someone who has passed on? Listen, we all need encouragement. We all need guidance. We all need comfort. I'm right there with you. So that's not a weakness. That's just humanity. Trust me, I know. But when you really need that special word, when you really need that guidance, when you really need that comfort, when you really need that companionship, when you really need to know that you're loved, how can you know where it's coming from? How can you know it's, that dear departed loved one or something like that? A thought for you, not to knock anybody about their experience at all, but I'm just asking, how do you know? I have to ask myself the same question. I don't see Jesus, but how can I know that he was resurrected from the dead? There's archaeological evidence, there's historical evidence, there's literary evidence. Even unbelieving historians wrote about the resurrection of the dead. There's a lot of evidence that Jesus was raised from the dead. And then there's this internal thing that I can't share with you personally, but when I believed in Jesus, he did come into my soul, and I experienced him there. So once again, not a word to put anybody down or anything like that. We all need comfort. Gosh, I'm so glad that I can get comforted from Jesus Christ. I'm so glad. My prayer, of course, is that you would too. So just some things to think about. I offer them lovingly, humbly, not on the attack, but just think about why it is that you believe in who you believe. So thanks so much. Bye-bye.